Welcome. In this video, we will cover adding and subtracting fractions without regrouping. Let's get started. On your notes page, please fill in each of the blanks as I write them during the video. You can always pause the video for more time to record your answers. Now let's begin. When adding and subtracting fractions, we can follow 3 simple steps. Step 1 is to line up your fractions. The second step, if the fractions do not have common denominators, you must find one. So in this case, we will find the multiples for our two denominators of 8 and 12. The multiples for 8 are 8, 16, 24, 32, and so on. The multiples for 12 are 12, 24, 36, 48, and so on. As we compare these two lists of numbers, we see that the number 24 is its least common multiple. Therefore, 24 will become our least common denominator. Step 3 is to rewrite the problem with common denominators and then solve. So we must first convert our fractions, 5/8 and 3/12, to have the common denominator of 24. So we must multiply each one of those fractions so it can now have a common denominator of 24. We know that 8 times 3 is 24, and so we must multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 3. So we'll have 15 24ths for 5/8. We also know that 12 times 2 is 24, so we must also multiply the numerator by 2. 3 times 2 is 6. So now those are our new fractions. We can rewrite the problem as 4 and 15 24ths minus 1 and 6 24ths. We will first subtract the fraction. Our denominator stays the same, and we'll subtract 15 minus 6 is 9. Now we will subtract the whole numbers. 4 minus 1 is 3. Now we can write 9 24ths in its simplest form. We do that by first finding the greatest common factor. The greatest common factor for the numerator and the denominator. We list the factors for 9, which is 1 times 9 and 3 times 3. We can list the factors for 24, which is 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, 4 times 6. Okay, so as we compare these two lists of factors, we can see that the greatest common factor they have in common is 3. So we can divide 9 24ths by its greatest common factor. We would divide the numerator and the denominator by its greatest common factor of 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. So our final answer in simplest form would be 3 and 3/8. Now, it is your turn to try some problems on your own. Pause the video and work through the 6 problems for this video. When you have done your best to answer each problem, play the rest of the video to check your answers. Make sure you correct any problems you may have missed. Good luck. In this problem, we are asked to subtract 5 and 7/12 minus 3 and 1/6. Watch as I work this problem by first finding the least common denominator, converting fractions so they can have the same least common denominator, subtracting the fractions and whole numbers. The final answer is 2 and 5/12. The next problem, we are asked to subtract 3/4 minus 7/12. We'll rewrite the problem. Find the least common multiple for each denominator. Convert fractions so they have the same denominator. Rewrite the problem with the new fraction. And subtract. 2/12 can be written in simplest form. Therefore, I'll find the greatest common factor for both the numerator and the denominator by listing their factors. And finding their greatest common factor. Then I'll divide both the numerator and the denominator by its greatest common factor, and that will give me the fraction in simplest form. The final answer is 1/6. In problem 3, we're asked to add 3 and 2/3 plus 6 and 1/6. I will first start by finding the least common multiple for the denominators, 3 and 6, and 6. The least common multiple is 6. I will convert the fractions so they can have the same number of the same denominator. Both need to have a denominator of 6, so I need to convert 2/3. Okay, now I can rewrite. Erase 2/3, put in the new 4/6, and add. Add my fractions first, 5/6, add my whole numbers next, and my final answer is 9 and 5/6. In problem 4, we are asked to add 1 and 3/4 plus 1 and 1/8. I'll rewrite the problem. I'll find the least common multiple for the denominators 4 and 8. 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on. 8, 16, 24, 32, and so on. The least common multiple is 8, so therefore my least common denominator will be 8. I need to convert 3/4 so it can have the common denominator of 8. Multiply that fraction both by 2 halves to get 6/8. My new fraction will be 6/8. So I can erase 3/4. And we write my new fraction of 6/8. Add my fractions. My denominator stays the same. I add the numerators. 6 plus 1 is 7. Add the whole numbers. 1 plus 5 equals 6. My final answer is 6 and 7/8. Number 5, we have 3/4 plus 2/3. We rewrite our problem, 3/4 plus 2/3. We'll need to find a least common denominator by listing the multiples of our denominators of 4 and 3. Our multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16. Our multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, and 12. Our least common multiple is 12. Therefore, we're going to have to convert both fractions so they both can have 12 as the denominator. So 3/4 times what number will get us 12. So 4 times 3 is 12, and 3 times 3 is 9. Then 2/3, we need to have the least common denominator of 12. So we know we can multiply 3 times 4 to get 12. And we must do the numerator by the same number. 2 times 4 is 8. So our new fraction will now be 9/12 plus 8/12. Now we add. 9 plus 8 is 17. Our denominator stays the same. We can convert this improper fraction by drawing 17 tally marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Then we can draw a circle around 12 of the tally marks. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So our improper fraction of 7/12 converts to, we have one group of 12 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tally marks left over. We rewrite the original denominator. So our mixed number is now 1 and 5/12. Our final answer is 1, whoops, 1 and 5/12. Our last problem, we rewrite 1 and 1/2 plus 1 and 1/4. We need to find a least common denominator by listing their multiples of both denominators. The multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. The multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on. We see that the least common multiple between the two is 4. So we will convert 1/2 so it can have the common denominator of 4. 2 times 2 is 4, and 1 times 2 is 2. So our new fraction will be 2/4. We add the fractions. Our denominator stays the same. We add the numerators. 2 plus 1 is 3. We add the whole numbers. 1 plus 1 is 2. Our final answer is 2 and 3/4. This concludes Lesson 3, Adding and Subtracting Fractions Without Regrouping. Always remember that a hard-worked wrong answer is better than no answer at all. It is better to have tried and failed than to never have tried at all. Until next time.